In another heavyweight bout on the undercard of the Day of Reckoning promotion coming up December 23rd, Philippe Hrgovic is taking on Marc de Mori in a bout that I think is not even a tune-up. But let's talk about this fight and Philippe Hrgovic. Just a couple of weeks ago, I had finished one of my Tuesday Tussle episodes and had titled it, "Where Are the Heavyweights?" The interesting thing was shortly after that, it was announced for December 23rd, the Day of Reckoning in Saudi Arabia, where we would see a host of the top contenders in the heavyweight division. Amongst them, the names Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder would be participating, not necessarily against one another, but they would be part of the promotion. And also one of the top heavyweights, Philippe Hrgovic from Croatia, is finding himself on the card, and he's going to face Marc de Mori. Now, this promotion is called Day of Reckoning, and we're seeing so many of the top fighters in boxing close out the year of 2023, which has been a most wonderful year of boxing. But we're going to see faces that we hadn't seen pretty much the bulk of the year, and hopeful toward 2024, where we may see more engaging matches and what the future could hold with potential fights between men who are competing on this particular card. But we're going to talk about Philippe Hrgovic for a moment. The Croatian fighter is taking on Marc de Mori, who's from Australia. Now, Marc is coming into this fight against Hrgovic, and he's 41 years of age, for one thing. Let's just put that out there. And he happens to stand 6'2". Philippe Hrgovic is 6'6". And when we look at de Mori, his record, which we have seen as he tries to compete in the heavyweight division, is 41-2 with 2 draws. And he has 36 KOs. They call him the Viking. However, de Mori is really not much more than a club fighter, people. And his opposition that he has defeated is nowhere near the likes of a Hrgovic. There is not one fighter on his resume that could measure up. In fact, one of the most gainful names on the resume would be a 2016 loss to David Haye, where he was stopped in 1 round. That brings me to my thoughts about Hrgovic in this fight. Philippe fought last earlier this year, and in that fight he took on Dempsey McKean. That was in August of this year, and he stopped McKean in the 12th round. In that fight, McKean brought in a record of 22-0. with 14 KOs. He's a southpaw out of Australia as well that stood 6'6". I never got to see that fight, but I remember hearing how lackluster it was. And for Hrgovic, who basically was taking the fight to kind of stay active, he found himself not looking his best in that fight. But don't forget, he also had in August of 2022 questionable win over Zhilei Zhang. That was a unanimous decision victory that saw Hrgovic on the canvas, hurt and wobbled several times during the fight. So this fight is, again, as I can't state enough, a fight of keeping things safe for Hrgovic. But that doesn't mean it's a good thing. He needs to face quality opposition. His nickname or alias, El Animo, needs to let the animal out and stop waiting around for a potential title shot and kick the door in to make way for a title shot. He's a formidable guy in his height and his reach, but he's 31 years of age now. He's coming out of a prime where he could have fought a little more frequently, but he hasn't done so. His record of 16-0 with 13 KOs speaks that there is more work to be done for the Croatian fighter. Now, if he doesn't want to get in there and face quality opposition, he's going to look a lot like old hands who are currently at the top of the division. And by that I mean names like Alexander Usyk and Tyson Fury. Two men who could have fought already for undisputed, but for whatever reason, they can talk about it being the money all they want. But those two men have yet to face off against one another, and the rest of the division has stood pat and watched the paint dry. Mori and fighters like him can dine off of these upper echelon fighters because those fighters are not looking to face each other. So in the meantime, journeymen and mid-class fighters can get opportunities. But the opportunity is also there for them to shine, for them to get inspired. You know, as big men over 200 plus pounds, a fighter, all he needs is a puncher's chance. And you have to make good when the opportunity presents itself. Will Mori do that? Or will he bow out in the first round like he did against David Haye years ago? Personally, I think Hrgovic is all about trying to intimidate people with his size and everything, but not so much with his skill set, not so much with his ability. And therefore, I feel that he's a pretender. He should have lost the fight to Zhilei Zhang. Zhang had him down, had him hurt, just like he had Joe Joyce. But for whatever reason, the PTB saw fit to keep Hrgovic alive. But for how long? Maybe we'll find out in 2023. What do you think? This is Stormy B-Man. Shout out to the mighty LDBC and Liberated Perspective, a third eye view of the world. For more content such as this, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Let me know what you think should be next for Filip Hrgovic after this fight against Mori. Peace to everyone out there, and everyone please remain safe.